This is part 13 of the truth and history of the corruption within the United States. In my last video, I was discussing how the United States government struck a deal with the oil-rich nations in the Middle East by providing military support in the exchange of them only selling their oil in US dollars, and by investing those US Federal Reserve notes into US Treasury bonds, which will be redeemable by future US tax-paying citizens. So not only did they put the lives of countless US citizens at stake in the military to fight for this deal, but also offering up the United States citizens to pay for their debt. I also discussed Iraq being hostile to the United States following the Desert Storm, which made Iraq petition to allow them to sell their oil in euros in 2000, and how in 2002 the United Nations agreed and allowed Iraq to do just that, which led us to this man right here, George W. Bush. See, in 2003, he reinvaded Iraq, all for the sole purpose of forcing Iraq to go back to the United States dollar, and had many soldiers believing that they was fighting a good war for a good cause, but in reality, it was all about the money, and they were simply just pawns to get the scheme done. So the US invaded Iraq and lynched Saddam Hussein, and placed Iraq's oil back on the world market strictly for US dollars. This also brings us to Libya, and it brings us to the man known by the name of Muammar Gaddafi. See, he issued his own state-owned central bank and a value-based trade currency known by the gold dinar. And Gaddafi announced that Libya's oil was for sale, but only by the gold dinar. And see, other African nations saw the rise of the gold dinar and the euro, even as the United States saw its inflation-driven decline. And these other nations flocked to Libya's new currency system. And this move right here had a serious potential to undermine and take away the powers that these world banks had. And the French president that goes by the name of none other than Nicolas Sarkozy went so far to make the claim that Libya was a threat to the financial security of the world. Yeah, these men wasn't gonna let that slide. So they made the United States and its hitmen in the military invade Libya, and they brutally murdered Gaddafi. Because in their eyes, Saddam Hussein was not enough. And clearly, these men did not learn their lesson. And they imposed their own private central bank and returned Libya's oil output back to the United States Federal Reserve notes. And the gold that was used to make these gold dinars from the last report was unaccounted for. And it's important to take into an account that after 9/11, the US policy shifted from being the broker of peace between the Middle East. Yeah, George W. Bush used his presidency to become a hitman for these different global elites.